Yeah, good evening. We'll start the session with the ICI motto. While the ICI motto is being played, please place your hand on your heart.
य एष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति य एष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति कामं 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 कामपुरुषो पुरुषो निर्मिमाणः निर्मिमाणः तदेव शुक्रं तद्ब्रह्मा तद्ब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः शतः सर्वे तदूनात्यपि कश्चन एतद्द्वैता 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 एतद्द्वैता
Yes. So, good evening, Chairman WARC Manish ji, our speaker for the day, our panelists, moderator, and my co-conveners, and all the participants. I welcome you to this very interesting webinar today. Social media is something which takes up, substantial part of our time. I was just reading a survey which says that on an average, an Indian spends 2 hours 25 minutes on social media. And then I realized I'm spending more than average time on social media. So we chartered accountants are no exception to that. We are using social media to express our views, make criticism for government and tax department. At the same time, we are also sharing knowledge. So this is where social media is today. So we have this webinar today. Very interesting 2 sessions. In the first session, we have our esteemed speaker, Aseem Trivedi, who's going to speak about the code of ethics with particular reference to social media. And this will help us know our boundaries. The second session has 4 social media stars, I would say. They are all influencers. They have their followers or subscribers running into thousands and in some cases lakhs. So it will be very interesting to know their journey and what it takes to be a celebrity influencer. So without taking much time, I would now request convener C.A. Chandni to introduce our first speaker of the day. Chandni, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Dinesh sir. Very good evening to everyone. It's my profound privilege today to introduce CA Aseem Trivedi sir. Well, Mr. Aseem Trivedi is a fellow member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. He is specially known for his weekly column Jama Poonji in Hindi National Daily Newspaper Patrika. He has a vast experience and is a recognized faculty on corporate and allied laws, accounting, auditing standards, Ind AS, and is currently working in training and implementation of IFRS and New Companies Act 2013. He is an author of various books for CA students. He has delivered more than 1,200 seminars on ICAI platform. He is a speaker at the national and regional conferences of ICAI and in some of the prestigious colleges of India as well, including IIM. He had been a part of managing committee of Indore branch of CIRC of ICAI. Moreover, his contributions at ICAI New Delhi since the year 2000 include being a member of expert advisory opinion, a co-opted member under ASB, a trainer for IFRS and technical standards on auditing, a special invitee for the formulation of accounting standards, and so on and so forth. He has held various positions under the Ethical Standards Board of ICAI, like being a trainer for faculty development program, reviewer of new code of ethics, and is currently a coordinator of a group constituted to prepare FAQs advertising through social media in 2021. With this brief profile, I ardently welcome C. Aseem Trivedi sir to this meeting.
Thank you. Thank you, Chandni. Now, before I hand over to CA Aseem, I would request Chairman CA Manish Balani to address us, please.
Thank you, Dineshji, Speaker of the Day, Aseem Trivedi, and all the four panelists. Already Tejwani sir has said that you are a star and a huge follower also. So Manish ji, Twinkle, Arpit, and Shaifaly madam. So we all are eagerly want to hear, and we want to know that how we can leverage social media and how we can use social media to tell us more and more about our services, maybe I should say. But at the same time, I also want to request all the members that we should use social media very cautiously. We should not criticize anyone on social media unless we are 100% sure that what we are saying or what we are writing is correct. Institute has already issued an advisory on 11th February 2021 in respect of use of social media. So all the student and members should follow that advisory or recommendation issued by ICI. So it is important that you should not criticize, you can appreciate anybody's effort, and social media is the day of the is very much needed, as Tejwani ji has said that in India on an average 2.5 hours people are spending on social media, so how important it is. And I also request all the four influencers of all the four panelists who also are chartered accountant to request all their followers that on the 3rd and 4th December, Institute is having their own elections. So I request all the members to go and cast their vote on the first day itself, not waiting for the last day, and first day, first half itself. Choose your candidate, choose your candidate very wisely, and give the maximum preferences as maybe you want to give, instead of giving one or two preference. So that is what my humble request. And at WIRC, as far as technology is concerned, we are having this package series every third Thursday of the month. One of this series, one of this program we are attending, you are attending today. Apart from that, we have also started a course on data analytics, and we are also started a course on Power BI and Tableau. So members can take the benefit of the same. I will not take much time. Over to you, Tejwani.
Thank you, Manish ji. And now I request CA Aseem Trivedi to please start the session.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible? Thank you very much, President Manish Balani and Dinesh Tejwani ji and all panelists here. So we have panelists with us. You all are social media influencers, and see, when an influencer is there, he always work as his heart says. And I am starting this conversation as that whenever we are giving something on social media, we have to know the boundaries which are being made by ICAI through our code of ethics. Look, I'm just sharing one screen with you. Just a minute. Just
तो स्क्रीन दिख रहा है आपका?
And I'm just coming to that. Now is it visible?
Sir, it is visible.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you. Now, straightforward coming to clause number 6, which affects us as it is that if someone solicits clients or professional work either directly or indirectly, here this word directly and indirectly is very important. So whatever we are doing, if it is indirectly soliciting the client or professional work, it would definitely going to fall under clause number 6. So directly or indirectly, that is a very, I must say, very vast interpretation we can have for this particular thing, that what we mean by directly and indirectly. Now, if I come to common practice of chartered accountants, which is very common. For example, if an update came just now about some kind of GST update or income tax update or something, what I do, and now this is the high time, election time, and every contestant appears to be very alert, so that the voter should be very much aware about the things. I don't know why this much awareness is required in this election time, because voting is not required that much updation, which is thrown upon us in the all social media and all platforms. But still, now if somebody prepares it or shares it, let us share it, no problem at all. But before sharing, one has to be very clear about the Copyright Act. Something which is shared by you, whether it is in public domain, whether it is accessible by anyone, or do you have that particular information with you which is exclusively with you. In a hurry of sharing any information, we should not ignore the Copyright Act. Otherwise, it would be a other misconduct in the Chartered Accountants Act 1949. So one has to be very clear on that. I have witnessed 2 or 3 cases where the things have been taken from the website. They have been converted, those matters which have been taken straightforward from the website, and then they have thrown that in their own name in social media or in some blogs or somewhere else, and they have received notice from those social media, those website owners, that it was a copyrighted material. How could you share this material to public? So this is something very alarming for chartered accountants. Whenever we are sharing any information, mind it, it should not be violation of a Copyright Act. That is very, very important before sharing anything with anyone. Second, if I'm sharing any information, now I want to tag my name, my firm name with that particular information. Suppose there is some relaxation given from GST Council. There is some relaxation given from GST Council. I want to share this with the WhatsApp group. Now tell me, which group is this? If this is a group of chartered accountants only, no problem. You share this information with your name, your firm name, whatever you want, do it. Now, second thing, I am sharing this update with my name and my firm name to a group of my clients. There is no misconduct at all, because I'm sharing this update with my own clients. But if I am broadcasting it to everyone, where I cannot prove that he is my client, where I cannot prove that he is a member of the institute. Who is he? If a third person unwantedly getting any update from my side with my name and my firm name, I am indirectly soliciting that particular client and making him and seeing him as a prospective client. I am soliciting him by giving information and information and information and information. This is clear misconduct. If you have any updates, if you are putting your name, if you are putting your firm's name, mind it very carefully. It could be shared to only chartered accountants, or it could be shared to only existing client. You cannot share it as to everyone. It is not public broadcasting. It should be very clear to everyone, because it would be indirect solicitation. Now I am coming to the second point. Some who are very good at very good orator, they're very good speaker, they're very good at something, they are making their educational videos. Educational video on GST, educational video on income tax, educational video on stock market, educational video on capital market, educational video on financial markets, or some educational videos on labor laws. No problem at all. Educate everyone. Have your own channel. Record video nicely. Explain nicely. Put your name. Put your firm name also. But don't copy the link of that YouTube channel and again broadcasting it to public that, sir, please see this video. Not possible. We can't say to the viewer that before viewing this video, please press the bell icon. No, I can't say please press the bell icon for continuous updation, because it's kind of solicitation. If you are requesting any person to come to your site, if you are requesting your person to come to your website channel, if you are requesting a person to come to join your WhatsApp group, you don't know him, but you are sending him an invitation to join the WhatsApp group. You are sending an invitation to a person to join your Telegram group. You are sending a request to a person to subscribe your Facebook page. We cannot indirectly solicit any business from person. Sir, if you are prohibiting all these, how could we become influencer? Sir, if I see your video and I appreciate it, I'm definitely going to share this to anyone else. If somebody else sharing something to someone else, there is no such misconduct, because I am not broadcasting it. Influencer वो होता है जो एक बंदे को इन्फ्लुएंस करता है, और वो एक बंदा उस इन्फ्लुएंसर का मार्केटियर बन के बाकी सब तक शेयर करता है, तो इन्फ्लुएंसर हो आप. अदरवाइज आप इन्फ्लुएंसर नहीं हो बॉस. अगर आप किसी को भी ये कहते हो कि प्रेस माय बेल आइकॉन, देन यू आर नॉट इन्फ्लुएंसर. You are throwing your knowledge to him and you want him to subscribe your channel. No, sir. One should stand erect and not kept erect by others. It's a motto which is given under this clause number 6. Indirect solicitation is not permissible at all at any of the platform. Sir, what YouTube channel, if I'm running a YouTube channel, I am running a YouTube channel, Asim Trivedi's GST Den, Asim Trivedi's GST tricks. Asim Trivedi, tax tricks. No, sir. I cannot have these kind of fascinating name of my channel. All website guidelines will be as it is applicable to all your channel. All website guidelines are applicable as it is to your Facebook channel. All website guidelines are as it is applicable to your any platform, social media platform. Even you can have your app. You can have your app. But again, that app will be subscribed by the persons who want to subscribe. It cannot be advertised that please subscribe. We cannot approach any person. The person should come to us due to our own caliber, our own popularity, our own effectiveness, our own efficiency. It should be always an organic likes. It should be organic subscribing. We cannot have any artificial subscribing. I want to boost my Facebook post. I have written an article. Now I want to boost it. I have set an advertising limit with Facebook and just boosted it that it should go to every chartered accountant. Sir, that's every chartered accountant. There is no problem in that. But if I am boosting it so that everyone in India could see it, again I am doing solicitation, sir. I am doing solicitation. Sir, I have YouTube channel. That's great. On that YouTube channel, I have applied for monetization. That's great. What you are now going to do with that? I'm getting monetized amount in dollars for views and likes and this and that. Sir, tell me, monetization, is it possible? What I said is it possible at your website to have the advertisement of any other person? Is it given in your website guidelines that anyone else banner or dangler or poster or something could be there and your? So this is also not allowed here. Why do a monetization? Because if we monetize it, definitely they want that more and more people will see to it, and they will force this particular your video to all those like-minded people who are watching through their browser, because artificial intelligence is there and my choice is not my private choice. It is a very common thing that the service provider sitting over there knows my choice through artificial intelligence. So mind it very carefully. We can't do that. Very sorry to say, you might be very disheartened by listening this, that what this guy is saying and everything is restricting and restricting. Sir, we are chartered accountant. We are known for our knowledge. We are known for our expertise. We are known since long for all these things. Why we need this kind of publicity by paying? Even ICAI has restricted other payment also. Even in case of website guidelines, if you go through that website guidelines, we cannot pay something to the search engine for promoting our website to a particular level. Same way, we cannot pay for promoting our YouTube channel. Same way, we cannot pay something for promoting our blog or anything which wherever we are doing this. So be it is our educational video, or it's an Instagram post, or it is a Telegram post, or it's a WhatsApp channel, or it's whatever kind of social media, your Pinterest and all those, Spotify and so many. The only thing which we have to learn is, first we have to read our guidelines which are given under the website guidelines. What website guidelines are saying, we should do that. It's very clear. We cannot solicit client either directly or indirectly. I'm reading out again that particular clause number 6, by either circular or by advertisement or by personal communication or by interview and by any other means. So they have clearly defined here indirectly word circular or advertisement or personal communication or interview or by any other means. Then if you come to the explanation which is given under this particular point, they are saying that it is not permissible for a member to mention in a book or an article published by him or presentation made by him any professional attainments, whether of the member or of the firm of chartered accountant which he is associated. However, he may indicate in a book, article or presentation the designation chartered accountant as well as the name of the firm. I'm saying you can use the firm name, but then you can't do what you cannot do is you cannot ask anybody to read that article. Nowadays article means I'm writing something and I want to share it. I will share that particular to my restricted group of chartered accountant. If somebody from there promotes it to someone else, it's okay. My firm name will be there. Now see one thing very clear. I wrote my article. Okay. About that, about the author, I'm writing something. Yeah. What I'm writing? See, Asim Trivedi, fine. Partner in this firm, fine. Having experience of 30 years in the field of this, that. We have these much clients. Leading firm of Indore. You can't put a single attainment over it. Otherwise, clause number 7 will be attracted. Advertising professional attainment. So your article, I'm seeing various YouTube channels I have daily watch, various WhatsApp posts I'm taking. Why you are saying yourself, you are proving yourself as better than the other? One cannot have self-praise in any mode. Is it a newsletter? Is it a newspaper, or is it any social media post? One cannot say himself better than other. That's a point, and one has to be very clear. So my conclusion over social media is very simple. If it is a WhatsApp post or Insta post or FB post or blog or anything, kindly follow the website guidelines given there. We cannot have push mode. We can have only pull mode. Whatever information they want, they can come and seek with us. There's no point at all. So we can have this. Now, if you have any question on this particular thing, let me clarify. Any question if we have on this particular matter.
Thank you, sir. Mishraji, do we have any questions? If you can open the board and probably you can take us through the questions. Audience will be more than happy. This is like a super hot topic anyways, and we all have to be famous, and it has been our generations that everyone wanted to be famous. I think this is the right audience and right event when we all have to be sure about what we should not do and what we should do. So most of us have a lot of questions about what all these points that we wish to ask Asim ji. We wait for the questions to come in. In the meanwhile, the panelists here, any of you guys, if you have any questions, I guess let's open this for an open Q&A session. Asim ji, you continue with the session ahead or finish over?
असीम सर,
Yeah.
सर मैं आपको चैट में देखिए क्वेश्चन दे दे रहा हूँ सर मैं आपको.
Just a minute.
So आपको मिले हैं questions? Because I think it is only
No,
posted.
I did not get any question right now.
Okay.
Yeah. ICAI Code of Ethics 2020 with effect from 1/7/2020 Volume 2. Firm name cannot be provided in educational video. Please clarify. Okay. And second one, in that case, will it be amounting to soliciting client who has seen the status and who is not an existing client? And the third one, whether the broadcast and story status in WhatsApp is the same. And the fourth one, what about sharing information to ex clients? Sir, let me give you a complete idea about that. Whenever we are talking about educational videos, let's have the thing. See, I have highlighted something. It is not permitted to share firm profile with a prospective client unless in response to a proposed client specific query and otherwise not prohibited by use the client. So it is very simple. Unless and until someone doesn't ask us, we cannot share our profile, even electronic profile we cannot share. Then I am saying another point, which is educational video. While the video of educational nature may be uploaded to internet by the member, no reference should be made to the chartered accountant firm wherein the member is partner or proprietor. Further, it should not contain any contact detail or website address. What I said is, whenever you are uploading your educational video, kindly follow the website guidelines. Website guidelines completely prohibiting that you cannot share your web address apart from your letterhead, your visiting card, your signboard, and your professional document. Nowhere else you can put your web address. Same way, if I am putting firm name in my PowerPoint presentation, which suppose I'm giving a PPT before you, can I give my firm name? Yes. In PowerPoint presentation, I can give my firm name. It is allowed there. But can a particular trigger will run on the screen that I am partner of the firm? No. Educational video cannot have firm name. You cannot have educational videos at firm name. That's very clear. They have given it that educational videos cannot have firm name. Now, in case it will be amounting to soliciting client who has seen the status and who is not the existing client. No, not at all. See, what I said is social media is just like website. Do I have control over anyone to come to my website? If some stranger comes and sees my website, there's no point in that. There's no solicitation. Some stranger comes and sees my status. There is not at all. It is not at all kind of solicitation. So third one, whether broadcast and story status in WhatsApp is the same. My story, my status is my personal domain. Why I should put my firm name into my status? One has to be very clear on that. Why I should put my firm name into my status? If firms group is there where the clients are associated, I can put a story because my clients are there and they are with this particular group. But my personal I'm not going to share any kind of this particular status. Then the next one, what about sharing information to ex clients? Can it be considered on par with the existing client? Yes. If somebody was your ex client, there's no need to educate him. If he want to continue with you, he will give you a mail that kindly share me the updates even if I'm not with you. And if he is asking, then share the updates with him. No problem at all. What I'm saying is solicitation is not possible. If someone asks you, kindly share me with this particular thing, I want to get myself update with you. If somebody comes and subscribes your channel because your educational video is very lucid, so if he want that, yes, I want to subscribe, he may subscribe, no problem at all. What would you say about leveraging the social media for CAs? We all are having leveraged with this particular social media, no problem at all. But see, as a regulator, ICAI has to look into the matter that sometimes we think that why these restrictions are there, make it open. If we make it open, you cannot believe what kind of marketing our guys will start doing. We cannot tamp them. Possible ही नहीं हो पाएगा. और ऐसे एडवर्टीजमेंट आएंगे कि हम अभी टेंडर से डरे हुए हैं. How 50 rupees and 80 rupees and 100 rupees tenders are there. That's why the guidelines are required, and it's not in India. All over the world, these guidelines are there. Despite of these guidelines, we see too many YouTube channels. How that is operational then? See, if complaint received to ICAI acts upon, and suo moto if some channels are there in ICAI's overview, they issue directives to them just to do that. Can we broadcast any update on my business WhatsApp status? It's on pull basis anyway. So does that count violation of clause 6? No, not at all. You can have a bulletin board at your website also. Not at all. ये बिल्कुल भी misconduct नहीं है, because bulletin board तो हम हमारी website पे भी रख सकते हैं. Same bulletin board we can have at our WhatsApp status is what? It's a bulletin board. So if you have a business account, and in that business account you are having your status, and you are having a broadcast group, and your status is there, it's just like a bulletin board which can be seen limitedly by those particular persons to whom you have taken. That's it. No problem with that. What I said is organic groups, organic viewers, Institute has no objection with them. Inorganically, paying something, raising your likes, and all those tactics which normal commercial people do, we can't. That's the point. If a PPT presentation is made and same is uploaded on social websites like LinkedIn, in that PPT, whether the name of, see, LinkedIn is something which cannot be said as on push mode. आपको अगर मेरी LinkedIn प्रोफाइल पे कुछ अपलोड हुआ है, so आप जाकर के देखेंगे, then it's okay. So there is no point at all. मेरे फर्म का नाम हो, मेरा नाम हो, PPT हो, मेरा आर्टिकल हो, मेरा ब्लॉग हो, मेरा फेसबुक हो, मैं आपको बुला थोड़ी रहा हूं that come and see my Facebook channel. You yourself coming to my channel, you have subscribed my channel, there is no point. Organic growth is not prohibited. Inorganically done is a problem. I think questions are over.
Sir, one question from my side. Yes, this is Aditya. So one question from my side is, suppose some CA who wish to have an influencer as his full-time career, he doesn't take POP. Would he still be bound by all of these ethics as a member of institute? Would he have to take the same exact what all these things?
Let me clarify you. We have clause number 11. As I am also an author, I'm also a motivator, I'm also an influencer. Now, if I want to join this as a full-fledged career of mine, that I want to be a social media influencer, look, if you become a public face, and that public face you are becoming just because of doing something which is apart from the things which are allowed to a chartered accountant in practice under section 2 subsection 2. So that would be clause 11, which is going to be attracted towards you, and you are engaging yourself in some kind of an activity which is normally not allowed to a chartered accountant in practice. So dominance of your personality, your persona as a chartered accountant, if this persona is going to dominate that particular practicing chartered accountant persona, ICI will definitely going to have an objection that you are getting an added advantage of being an influencer, and now you are getting the practice because of, and people like me will start crying that what this guy is doing, he's a very nice stand-up comedian, or he's a very good social media influencer, and everybody is seeing to him. So he has engaged himself into such kind of an activity where he became a different person. So we have to have a thin line of difference between profession and the other curricular activity. Whatever things are there as an other curricular activity, and you are getting a marginal mileage about it, so there is no point at all. अगर मैं सुबह सुबह भक्ति भाव के प्रवचन देना चालू कर दूं आधा घंटा कि भाई मैं something I'm doing something बाबा जी बन जाऊं, तो half an hour if I'm doing that and my followers are there is no point. But if I become a fame in that, so that fame will going to hamper my practice. So in that case, the same thing which you have in case of teachers who are engaging practicing chartered accountant who are became teacher, then ICI came out and then you are full-time teacher, how could you get time for your practicing and all that? Then they say your direct teaching hours could not be more than 25. So if you guys are getting glorified through this particular social media, so definitely ICI will come and say that how much time you are devoting to this and that will be there. But what the basic idea is that we should not be involved so much in that it could be attracting the clause number 11. And if you're not having any certificate of practice, man, what do you want? No problem at all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. We are your fan follower anyways, so and more so now that we see our articles and most of the team members, and earlier when we used to study, we had a very limited resources of what we can hear and whom we can listen to. I think thanks to the social media, it's been an easy approach since last few years. Thank you so much for enlightening us on this specific topic. It is easy to slip away with social media, and with a very tempting time of this era now, probably it is pretty much important for all of us to even print this and keep on reading this every night, probably, so that we don't sort of miss this point. So I think that's something that we have to take this in our mind. Thank you so much, Asimji, for taking out the time. Let's move on to the next session in this topic today. So we will be now speaking with some of the panelists that we have. I guess we really need no introduction to these panelists, but Maitri would be taking care of moderating this session, introducing the speakers. I think let me first introduce Maitri and then let her take it ahead. So Maitri has been 15 years into the CA practice. She was also a director of a USA-based KPO, BPO, as well as a healthcare IT company. She is a DSA and a GMCS faculty as well, and also a member of IT committee of WRC, which is hosting this webinar. She's also been working as an IT committee member in Chamber of Tax Consultants since last 7 years, and she was also chairperson for last 2 years in the same committee. So over to you, Maitri. We look forward to this session, and it's all yours. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditya. Asim sir, it was great to listen to you. So I will just start with introducing my panel. So I'm very excited to have a discussion post this. So let me start with Shaifaly Girdharwal. Shaifaly is a qualified CA and working in the field of GST. She is a co-founder, chief strategist GST author, trainer, and consultant at consultees.com. She was a pioneer to start knowledge sharing via YouTube. She has around 280,000 followers on her YouTube channel, which is a commendable. Congratulations, Shaifaly. This channel has put up to hundreds of videos since 2017 and has total views of about 1.9 crores. That's huge. Apart from that, Shaifaly, I just saw that you run a channel on yoga, as in some personal channel, and I just saw you do some few yoga poses. Those were amazing. I was zonked that somebody who's a GST expert, who's donning so many hats and is still a fitness expert. Amazing. Welcome, Shaifaly. Next, I will take up Manish. CA Manish Balani is a qualified consulting professional with around 10.5 years of post-qualification experience and around 14 years of overall experience, which includes growing revenue, key account management, and setting up of profit centers operations, and putting structure around inherent chaos around a growing business. So he works mostly with startups and brings leading change in that. He is a growth hacker, a SaaS and fintech specialist, and a tax technology functional expert. Manish was featured by LinkedIn in their In It Together campaign, hashtag In It Together campaign, through TV commercial, video ads, and various digital platforms like YouTube, Facebook, as well as billboards and hoardings in major cities of India. During IPL of 2019, it had around more than 5 million views across platforms. Congratulations, Manish, on that. So before this, his story was also featured by LinkedIn on its official page on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. He presently heads GST business at Vienna Network, which is the largest GST Suvidha provider in the ecosystem, and also a SAP certified GSP, providing GST e-way bill and e-invoicing APIs. So that's Manish for you. Welcome, Manish. Next, I'll take up Twinkle. CA Twinkle Jain has cleared her CA finals in 2018 and has worked as a finance professional with one of the India's biggest private banks for over two years. She's a celebrity content creator with around 1,02,000 followers on Instagram. She makes infotainment videos around business, finance, and income tax sections for lay people. So we're very interesting videos. I have seen those videos and very interesting videos Twinkle makes. Welcome, Twinkle. Last is CA Dr. Arpit Haldia. So this is again a man who wears a lot of hats. CA Dr. Arpit Haldia holds multiple degrees, FCA, CS, CWA, LLB, PhD. He's done DISA in ICI and DIRF. He's an author of taxman publications like GST Made Easy, GST Mini Ready Reckoner, GST Search and Seizure, GST Law and Practice, GST Samasya Evam Samadhan, GST E-Way Bill in Hindi and English languages. He's co-founder of the website gstonline.com, where he has written about 700 plus blogs on GST. Commendable. He's a regular speaker at various webinars, seminars, and at various associations. He's a visiting faculty at NASIM for training of CGST officials and for Deloitte for training of SGST officials at Rajasthan. He has been an office bearer of various professional bodies like Jodhpur branch of CIRC, Secretary Tax Bar Association Jodhpur, district level GST committee of Jodhpur state government of Rajasthan. Arpit is very active on Twitter and enjoys a great following. So as you can see, our panel is, of CA stars. Actually, this is CA stars of social media. We have Manish, who's expert in LinkedIn, is featured by LinkedIn. Shaifaly, who's ruling YouTube. Twinkle is a influencer of Instagram. She's a celebrity influencer. And CA Dr. Arpit Haldia, you are also a star in your own this. You are very active on Twitter, and this of sorts, what do you call, leader of sorts in your own field. So it's a great this to have you. So with this, let me start my questions. So let us start with a little bit about you, apart from what I've introduced you. So my first question is that what made you start your journey in social media? I mean, yes, everybody is, we start with our articleship. We have our, articleship, and then probably you do articleship in traditional mediums. You do our auditing and everything. So from there, how did you, think that you want to create content or you want to be active on social media? So let me start with Manish first. So yes, Manish.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Hello everyone. My name is Manish, chartered accountant, passed out in 2011. I started working with a listed company when I passed out, okay, and I was doing accounting, auditing, taxation, which a normal CA does. But within a year, I realized that that's not I want to do for my entire life. So since
Okay.
I come from a business family, from a hardcore business family, and also from a community, Sindhi community, which is basically known to have a very good business acumen, right? So I moved out from these traditional roles and started doing roles which required strategy, product, and of course sales, because that's a very important aspect, right? So now coming to what prompted me to do social media, right? So I think I always had that knack of writing right from my school days. I had been writing in my school, and probably I was present in all social media for the longest time possible. From past 10, 11 years, I was present in all social medias. But then I think 5 years back, I realized that I have to be very serious on one particular social media. And I chose LinkedIn because of, I think, very specific reason. So I'm not very smart like Arpit ji to kind of reduce the entire thing into 140 characters. I'm not very kind of presentable like Twinkle Jain, so I think Instagram was also not the place for me. I cannot speak for 15-20 minutes on a very specific topic like Shaifaly ji, so again YouTube was not there. So I think LinkedIn was the only choice for me. I write long posts, but I don't really put up videos. So that's how LinkedIn came in. And I think to kind of summarize my LinkedIn journey, I would say it can be summarized into 3 steps. Just like a small child is when he whenever a small child is born, right, first of all he starts crawling, then he starts walking, and then he starts running. So similarly happened with me also. I started crawling. I started understanding LinkedIn, then walking. I became kind of an influencer, and then running. Obviously now I'm kind of a thought leader in LinkedIn. So that's how
So LinkedIn was
LinkedIn
a
happened.
conscious choice for you, right? It has been a
Yes, it was
conscious
a
choice.
very conscious and very thought about choice for me.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So Shefali, how was your journey? How did you, start with, and how did you decide that you have to be active on YouTube? So can you just, elaborate on that?
I would say that since my childhood, I was like very fascinated with the international web uh, startups, or say the famous names like Facebook or Google or whatever. And I always thought like why we don't have something like that in India, because in India specifically we don't have that much emphasis for the online things. Maybe the trust factor is one of the most important things because we don't trust on the online things. And I have seen that like apart from the CA fraternity and some other businesses also, like traditional businesses and traditional professions, like most of the people they just want to turn to this online world, right? So when I started, like there was a time when I shifted my entire practice into GST, and then I realized that in our community, even the clients are so habitual of personal meeting. So client will always be asking, I want to come to your office. I will say, why you want to come to my office? Why we just can't have a Skype call, or like in the earlier time the Skype was very famous, or WhatsApp call or like something like that. So many times we just cater the international clients. They cannot just fly and come to meet us. So we just have to develop a habit to communicate our things over online things, right? So that was very important. And when I started about sharing my knowledge, so the one aspect was that okay, you will have to just go for the seminars. So when you go for a seminar, it's a very good medium, and obviously it has its own pros and cons. But the thing is, like every time you will have to travel that much distance, then the audience, there are so many cons into it. First thing is, you don't have a proper recording. So if it's an offline, you cannot have a recording. Second thing is, the audience is like they have so many tasks to do. We all are multitasking, and at times I feel that multitasking kills our integrity and our concentration on one thing. So people in the seminar, what they are doing, like they may be having a call from someone, or maybe there is some important part, but they are feeling sleepy. Maybe they are tired of traveling, right? Or maybe they are hungry. They were not being able to. That happens when you're in a seminar. You just looking at the audience, and initially you will get nervous out of it, like, okay, I'm speaking, why that guy is sleeping. So you will feel ki, oh my god, मैंने क्या कर दिया ऐसा, that way he's sleeping in the corner. But later on with the experience you will realize that everyone have their own problems. Maybe due to work pressure he hasn't slept like 2 3 nights, or maybe he's tired, maybe he was traveling, maybe
Yeah, we don't
he
know
just had
what
lunch.
background.
We don't know. So the best thing in online is, the first thing is it is recorded, and it is on demand thing. So you can watch it when you want, when you actually need it, and not when you are forced to watch it. So if it's a safety design seminar, and I actually want to learn, say, filing of return in GST. Let us take a very simple example, right? Now there is a seminar after, say, 15 days, and then you will have to travel to that place. Maybe you have some other occupation at that point of time, right? But if it is online, if it is recorded, I can watch it when I want. So today I don't want to learn return filing, but seminar is organized today. So either I will have to force myself to join it, or I will be deprived of it, deprived of it. But if it is recorded, so what I can do, I can simply search it. So there are so many webinars posted, the recordings they are posted in the YouTube channels of different branches, and I will say the regional councils, right? So I can just search it, and then I'll be able to watch it, because I personally believe that we should give food when someone is hungry. Forcing someone to eat when he is not even hungry, that's really not good. That is how we teach our students. That is how we teach our youngsters. You're asking them to learn an entire section, or you are asking them to remember this 2 page theory. How they will do it? Unless and until they have a hunger, unless and until they have a question in mind. So let us say you're an article and you're facing a practical problem, then you are searching for it, and when you will watch that video, you will be concentrated over that video, because it's your hunger. When you are hungry, you will eat everything, right? But if it is just scheduled into a physical webinar, and again I will say the seminars have their own benefits. I just don't want to say that they have all the cons only.
So,
They also
so
have their
your
pros. People go,
yes.
people meet, and there's also benefit. So I just wanted to convert it into online, so that as many people can watch it. And that was the
So,
only
you,
thing.
so even your idea behind starting YouTube was conscious decision, right? That you want to give them a on-demand
Yes,
information
of
session,
course.
right? Okay, great, great, great. Okay, so now coming to Twinkle, Twinkle, how did you decide that you wanted to be a influencer, or you wanted to create videos around various topics? So I believe you're the youngest panel member over here. So what was your idea behind this? Can you just give us a gist of your journey?
Sure. So firstly, thank you so much for having me here today. It's really exciting. And secondly, so it was a very conscious decision, I would say, because of the lockdown, I had a lot of spare time with me, and I am a person who loves to be on screen and who loves to make videos. So that maybe that is the reason that I started off with Instagram first, rather than LinkedIn or some Twitter or other accounts where um, so that was the reason I started off with Instagram. And so deciding the niche, what happened was, because I loved finance and I loved making videos, so I thought, why not just merge those two things and come up with something. And because being a CA, I had the knowledge of income tax and these sections, and not everyone on Instagram was doing it. So I thought, why not introduce that also in my content, because I had that knowledge, and I had people, because I had my name CA Twinkle Jain, so they knew that I'm a CA. So they used to ask me many doubts. If this happens, then what? So I thought, why not just make videos out of it, to help everyone. And yes.
Okay, so you basically wanted to do something on social media, but coming up with informational videos was a organic thing, it will just tend to drift towards it. Okay.
Correct.
Yes. So coming to you, Arpit, how was your journey? How did you start, or how did you decide to, be active on Twitter, or write your own blogs?
My journey was not as intentional as the rest of the three panelists. Before joining Twitter, I explored all the three platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So I joined Twitter in 2009, but I was not that active. In 2015, when I started to write about GST, my preferred platform was Facebook. So I was very new to the social media platform, so I started posting my professional post on Facebook. Then slowly, I learned that Facebook is not the platform to post professional posts. So I started posting on LinkedIn, and from there, for continuously posting for 1.5 years, Taxman Publications content creator found me out and invited me to write a book on GST. So that's how a person sitting in Jodhpur was identified by Taxman to write a book on GST.
Yeah.
And then when I started to write on GST, I started also posting on Twitter. And when 1st of July 2017 came and GST was implemented, I slowly my Twitter account became active. I started to raise the issues about GST on my Twitter platform. And at that time, approximately whatever professionals are there on Twitter presently, only 20% of them were on Twitter at that time.
Okay.
So when I started to raise the issues about implementation on GST to the government and tagging the FinBin and the GST Council, people started to follow, because at that time there were many glitches in GST. And as the GST bandwagon went on, people started to join Twitter more and more, and I started to raise more and more issues on Twitter. Twitter became my first and preferred platform for posting my issues on about GST and my professional post on GST. So that's how I landed on Twitter, rather than intentionally but accidentally exploring all the other platforms.
So even I think coming on social media or being active on social media was not your professional choice. It was basically just to give a creative outlet to what you wanted to do, right?
Yes.
So yes, that's the also what do you call the outreach of social media, where somebody sitting in Jodhpur, as Arpit said, that can be approached by this, and he has now written how many 6-7 publications which I read out in various languages. So wonderful. That's the power of social media, and that's how one can leverage it. So now just adding on to the previous question which I had asked, that what makes you choose the type of content that you create. We've established that you've all chosen a specific type of social media because maybe organically or maybe by conscious decision. But what makes you choose the kind of content you write? So for example, Manish, you write articles, you also talk about leadership, you talk about a lot of things. So what makes you decide that okay, this is the thing I should talk about? Now Shaifaly and Arpit, you both write about GST specifically, right? I mean, as in Arpit writes tweets about GST, and Shaifaly, you create videos. So how do you decide? You've got your videos, Shaifaly, for example, within minutes of releasing, they have got thousands and thousands of views. So how do you decide that what is going to be? Do you decide on the basis of popularity? Twinkle, you talk about a lot of general this which will help lay people. How to take advantage of certain sections or how to do this. So what makes you decide this? So let me start with Twinkle first. So how do you decide what kind of videos do you want to make?
So to be honest, I'm still in the process of figuring things out. As in, so what happens is, so I'm still learning to decide on what I should put out, and my quality of content has improved and changed with time. So my decision is based on many factors. So firstly, what I like. Secondly, if that would hamper and I also get restricted by the fact that I'm a CA, so people should perceive me in a certain manner. So I can't just put out anything that would
You play
hamper
within
my.
the code of ethics.
Yes,
Okay.
that makes me very restricted on the type of content, because people expect a certain kind of content out of me. So that also restricts me, and then it also depends on the numbers, as in what kind of content would reach a greater audience. As in, if I put out a very heavy data out there, or something which is
Technical
like,
terms, basically. Huh?
yes. So people won't really watch it, and even if they watch it, of course that would generate certain sort of curiosity in them, but I think they'll get bored out of it if they don't know ABC of something. So these are some factors that I take into consideration before posting something.
Okay, so Arpit, how do you decide on the content? Or you've written so many books, so how do you decide that okay, this should be written, or maybe even during tweet, or do you have likes or any end number in mind? How do you do it?
Implementation of GST has given me ample opportunity to write on Twitter.
Yes.
The way GST has been implemented, so I don't have to think about what I have to write. Every day the content is there, and I have to only craft it and post it. So what I am writing on Twitter is about implementation of GST, and along with that, I also post my articles on GST, which I write on Twitter. And somewhere down the line, this posting on Twitter and sharing of knowledge, along with the issues which are being faced in implementation of GST, has grown, and the people have followed me. And my intention is only to highlight the issue, not to criticize anybody, not to criticize or identify a specific person that this person has made a mistake. Only the issues have to be raised and the knowledge has to be shared, and that's how I decide what I have to post on Twitter.
Wonderful. I'll come back to you on that. So Shaifaly, tell me, how do you decide the content? So yes, GST is your medium, but the main topic. But how do you decide, what section to talk about, or what do you really do? Do you really have an idea when you're making videos that your videos will? Do you have viewership in mind? How do you do it?
I think for me also it was very simple, like Arpit ji. So I was just posting what I was reading. So it was never being a reverse process. It was never being like that. I have to post something, so I will read this thing. So every day, whatever I was reading for my GST, the same thing I just posted on my YouTube channel. So at that time, in that complete period of say 3-4 years, every day we were just like waking up and see what's new in GST, reading the sections, analyzing them, discussing them. So whatever those discussions, their conclusions, or if something is like coming out of that, so it was just like knowledge sharing, and like there was no effort for any video.
Okay, wonderful. Manish, how do you decide, what to write? You write on leadership and a lot of other things. So how do you decide?
So obviously the deciding criteria is mostly related to what I have really experienced in my life, right? So initially what I used to write was what's happening with me in my office, what I'm doing, what if I'm working on a project, what's working for me, what's not working for me. So that's how I used to decide earlier. Now I think since obviously there are a few topics that I have to talk about. I had a GSP, so I need to talk about GST, e-waybill, invoicing. If since I'm into product, so I have to talk about technology and product. So these are the various possible scenarios which I always think of before posting anything.
Okay, all right. So now coming to this topic, Twinkle, you spoke about technical terms, right? Like certain algorithms, numbers. You have some numbers in mind when you're making some videos, So you're talking about. So can you just explain in a little brief that what are the technical terms you have in mind when you're making the content? Like very very passing reference you made that you decide how to put up a topic basis on likes or some end number in mind. So how does that work in
So see, people may say that numbers don't affect you. So when I started, so Instagram has different algorithm, I guess. I'm not blaming it, but I think when I started out, it supports the smaller channels. So when I started out, I was growing for no reason, as in because Instagram was supporting me. But when I see those numbers, when I see the chart going that way, but if I put up a very num technical video or something which my audience won't like, then it starts declining. And if I don't get the number of likes or shares or the number of views, then it affects me, and it also affects my growth on the page. So my decisions are based on the basis of, if on the analysis of which videos work, so I'll put out more of those kind of videos.
Okay. All right. Great. Good to know. Good to know. Makes sense.
So that way.
All right. Twinkle, your voice is breaking. If you can just check your network once. Okay. So Shaifaly, you also are, in this creative where you are, putting up, we are talking about things instead of writing. You are into, videos. So do you also in YouTube, all these algorithms and numbers and all, do they affect you? Do you look at them? How do you?
See, I just don't run too much behind the numbers, because first thing I would like to clarify to everyone, like to every audience, because so many people think that I'm earning too much from the YouTube. YouTube is not my primary source of earning, and whatever YouTube pays me, I spend more than that on making those videos in terms of my time and efforts. So that is not my primary concern. I have never looked at YouTube as a primary source of income. So for me, it is very important that I should be enjoying what I'm doing. So say if I have analyzed reverse charge today, and even if it is not a famous topic, I will be posting only about the reverse charge. So there will be maybe the few people are interested into that. But even for those few people, it is important. So I'll be posting for them. So I was like not running behind the numbers. I never ever like try to give some clickbait type of titles. Sometimes I use Hindi or like just to attract more audience. That is fine. But generally, I never put a clickbait kind of title, or try to make it that okay. I mean, I know there are some tactics that you just need to drag your viewer to the second part or third part or too much of minutes. I would be like I will just sit on the chair and spontaneously whatever's in my mind, I will just post it. In 99% of my videos, we don't even have any editing, not even a single second or minutes editing. It's just like that. It is just
Wonderful.
going to, yes. I'm like, I cannot force myself to do anything.
Right, but when you're talking about spending more on making the videos, so there must be a lot of technical this which you must be having a look at, no, right? What kind of background to use, or so do you take care of that, or you have a team who will do that for you?
Yeah, we have a team, and then the camera quality is very important. So if you want to make a nice content, camera quality in editing and lights, there are three most important things. Even if your camera is not that good, but you understand the angles and light. So there are two more most important things. But yes, if you can spend on a camera, then camera will add on to it. But if you don't understand the angles, even a good camera won't help you. So these are the two or three most important things: the editing software, the editing, the quality editing, right? Then the camera quality, and third thing is light system and angle. These are the most important things for a video.
Right. So Manish, you were saying, when in the previous this, you were saying that there are certain topics you have to talk about as a LinkedIn influencer or a leader. So can you elaborate on what that means, first of all, for the audience, that what does that mean when you are in fact, even when I introduce you have been part of LinkedIn's influencers or leadership. So what does that mean, and what do you have to do for that? So can you, if you can elaborate?
So I think from a technical side, LinkedIn for creators, this is the term that we normally use. Okay.
Yes.
This is a bit technical term, but I'm sure in this forum, everybody would be able to understand. So this is an accelerator program, right? We call it the LinkedIn Accelerator program, LinkedIn Creator Accelerator program. Okay. And it's an initiative which is designed to invest in creators. They have accepted program participants, and I'm one of them. We receive a kind of white glove support, right? Kind of early access to creator tools, early access to certain trending hashtags. So we basically get to know what are the current trending hashtags or topics that are there on LinkedIn, right? Or probably might be trending in the next few days, right? So we are kind of prepared, and we are kind of asked to create a content on that. So that's one thing that I am part of. Slowly and steadily, even LinkedIn is trying to kind of work on the monetization. So as of now, there's no monetization as such on LinkedIn, but then slowly and steadily, even LinkedIn is trying to work on monetization.
Okay, all right. So, talking about monetization, where is Twinkle? Twinkle, are you there? Okay, I think she's having some network problem. We will get back to her on this. I think Twinkle, you're on mute. If you'll have to unmute yourself.
Yes, I'm here. I'm so sorry.
Yes. So talking about monetization, Twinkle, there's a lot of even Shaifaly spoke about this, that she's not in it for monetization, but yes, this is the topic, where all the CAs will be definitely interested to know how the monetization part works. And I do suppose that there is a lot of misconception about how monetization work. That does it depend upon only the followers? If you have number of followers, so does that mean that you are directly going to start earning? How does monetization work? So how does it work in Insta? If you can throw some light, Twinkle.
Correct. So when I entered, I also didn't know about how the monetization thing works. As in, I just wanted to make out videos and just put myself out there to the audience. I didn't have any clue about how monetization work, or I didn't really want to monetize. That was not my intention. But monetization is one of the perks of being on social media and having those numbers. So how it works is, so people have this misconception that for everything I post out on Instagram, be it a post or story or a reel, I get paid for it. Instagram pays me for it, because I think there were news, बहुत सारे ऐसे कि this Virat Kohli gets 1.5 crores for every post and everything. So because of that, I think people have like so many misconceptions, but that is not the case. We get paid only when we collaborate with a brand. So if a brand likes what the kind of content that we put out, so they ask us to collaborate their brand with our own information, and then we are able to charge them accordingly. And the figure that we charge is dependent on various factors, as in what our number of followers is, what our reach is, what is the number of likes and comments that we get, that is what our engagement is. So it depends, and the type of content that we put out, because and how loyal our audience is, as in, because if our audience is very loyal to us, the conversion that the brand will get because of us, our integration, will be more. So accordingly, we can monetize our page.
So over here for the audience, Twinkle has used a lot of terms which you can look up later: engagement, interaction, impressions. So these are the terms which influencers do use. This is basically metrics of social media. All the influencers will be using that. And again, as Twinkle said, that whenever brand collaboration is there, you specifically shows on your social media, right, that this is a brand collaboration, or it's a paid partnership, or whichever way. So that is how Instagram works. As Manish said, there is no monetization on LinkedIn. Arpit, is there any monetization on the tweets or anything, or have you come across any?
There is a monetization on tweets, but it is only for celebrities.
Okay, all right. Right. I think the major this for you would be that you get opportunities, work opportunities, or writing collaborations, or writing opportunities
Yes,
that you get.
whenever professionals who are new to the profession join and they want to share their knowledge across board, because see, the social media platforms has given such a vast platform for a new professional to come and share the knowledge. Like Shefali is there, and when she started her YouTube channel, I was also intending to start my YouTube channel, but when she started, I kept back my YouTube channel because it was used in such a good manner to post the videos on GST, and they were really very good in the initial times, and people were facing very issues in GST. Those videos are very helpful. So social media platform is giving an opportunity to a professional, whoever professions who are attending this meeting. We all four panelists who are sitting here would agree that this, if these platforms are used in the most appropriate manner, this is one launch pad which can be used by a new profession to show his diversity, to show his knowledge, to share his views. And once he is able to show, there are scouts looking for you who will come and grab you and give you an opportunity. So if a new professional is doing, write and share knowledge, whether through YouTube, whether through videos, whether through written posts, whether through articles. But it is a very good opportunity to be used by anyone who likes to share his views, his or her views.
Yes, and as I can see, common point in all four of you is that everybody started out for the love of, creating, or love of putting something out there, helping people when you being asked questions. So that was the main purpose of you joining social media or becoming really active in it, and spending a lot of time. So now coming to, when Arpit, you were talking about that you have to put yourself out there. Manish, I've seen you've done some courses. So are there any specific courses which you would recommend? You've done a lot of courses on LinkedIn. Uh, uh, so are there any other courses you did specifically for LinkedIn, or just for curiosity? If you can recommend anything.
So I started these courses from a curiosity perspective only. So I've not done any specific course, but yes, LinkedIn has this section called LinkedIn Learning, right? Wherein LinkedIn provides few courses which can be completed within a few hours. I mean, it would not take much of your time. So I used these LinkedIn Learning courses on how to use LinkedIn, how to kind of create out content on LinkedIn, and some other things as well. Since I have that, I'm a kind of into sales, so I like reading and as well as learning about sales. So all these things I've been able to get from LinkedIn Learning. So I think if somebody wants to understand about LinkedIn and anything else, I think LinkedIn Learning is a very good space that is available. Most of the videos there are free, but then if you can subscribe for a month, kind of a monthly amount, and then you get all the videos for free, and you can definitely learn more about anything of your choice. It's kind of a mini YouTube.
Mini YouTube with specific goal-oriented courses specifically. Great. Twinkle, did you do any courses for making videos, or how to use Instagram or anything?
No, I didn't do any courses. I think being a Gen Z person, Instagram is something that we know of, and making reels, it's like we learned it from the womb itself. So
Yes.
I think I didn't do any course, but yeah, I'm learning through the process. Every day is the new learning day for me.
So I see you come up with a lot of trends also, the trends which are very famous on social media. You use those trends to give out information which is technical, tax section related information. So how do you decide that? Do you have a team, or do you do it on your own?
Till now, I didn't have a team. I have an intern working with me, and she's amazing with her work. So I started using trends because Instagram pushes a certain kind of content, as in if you're making things. So Instagram is all about entertainment, right? So, and if I'm just like on the screen saying things, so even people will get bored, though it's a 30-second thing. But to make it more entertaining, I use the trends, and to figure out which trend to use, I think I have to consume a lot of reels myself, so that I know what's going on right now, what's working. So that way I have to consume and then figure out on which trend to use or what to use, and then I have to put out that inculcate that trend into my content and then put out.
Okay, so since we are on social media topic, and we've seen, the chairman Manish ji also, pointed out that social media, because it's you have a wheel sort of thing, where people can talk about anything. So have you, as content creators, faced any, negative comments, or have you received any negative comments, or some hate speech or anything in your personal inboxes or anything? Did you have any nasty experiences? Okay, let me start with Shaifaly first.
Well, I would like to say that I was very lucky, extremely lucky, that I never had such kind of instance that anybody is doing any hate speech or something like that. There may be some rare cases where when somebody is posting about like color of lipstick or something like that, but it was not a hate speech. It was like normal, because you have a variety of audience and they may be sitting at the different corners of the country, and they may be having some
So
different kind of background.
creepy at best, not negative. Creepy at
Not
best,
negative. Yeah, there was only one very senior advocate. Once he called me and he said that many accountants are not happy with you. why you are teaching people to file their GST returns, like why they will come to the consultants and you are trying to kill the business. Only one person was there. He said that why you are teaching these things in the video, like doing the registration and filing the GST returns, like you are eating the business of other professionals. Then I told him one thing, that when you teach someone, it's never be going to kill anybody's business or even your business. The only thing is that they will have a trust factor, and the thing is that they will be able to make a better choice by choosing a consultant. So they will be able to understand that what should I look into a consultant. That's it. It is never be going to kill anybody's business. I don't think so.
So after creating so many videos, have you learned to not look at the comments at all? That or do you look at comments?
I think this is very important thing, and everybody should work on it. Like, to handle the criticism. We all feel happy when we are appreciated, but I think the boldest person in this world is the one who can handle the criticism, and that is the most important thing if you want to be happy in your life. So if other person is criticizing you, and you can amicably handle it, not to hate, not to take a revenge, not to take it negatively, not to depress yourself, but you can take it boldly. That is the one most important thing I think I have learned from this entire thing.
Wonderful, wonderful. Arpit, how about you? Since you've been tweeting so much, so you might be, getting retweets, sometime comments. So how, what has been your experience like?
See, regarding my experience, generally for the last 4 years, when I have been active on Twitter, I have generally posted about GST. So people have started to associate me with the content I post about GST, whether it is a knowledge sharing or something about implementation of GST. And my regular following and my most of the tweets which are spread across are relating to GST. But one thing which I have figured out during my post, that as soon as I start to tweet about something political or something other than GST, then the hate speech starts to come. So I have tried to restrict, and the learning which I have got from Twitter of maintaining my account is to restrict it to the professional post only and don't venture into the political part, because once you start to venture into the political part, then the hate speech, and you cannot restrict anyone to post, because whenever you are posting about GST, the persons who are following are, most of them are chartered accountants, or they would be sharing their knowledge, or they will be sharing their experience. But once you start to tweet about the political aspect, then everyone comes and then they are free to post anything and about any hate speech. So what I have learned over the period is restricted the platform. And being a chartered accountant, as Twinkle also said, that being a name, being a CA hashtag before the name, the people only expect that you would be posting about GST or an income tax, or it would be a professional post. So as soon as you start to diverge into other field, then they start with the negative comments. So this is one concentrated effort which has been made by me on Twitter to restrict my post about GST only.
So no personal comments also as such. No, the moment you start
No.
attaching personal comments, it becomes a little.
Yes. But once you are posting about the technical aspect, then I have not come across any hate speech or a personal comment about myself.
Okay. Manish, what about you?
So since I am mostly on LinkedIn, so it's a very professional place, right? So you do not really get any kind of hate there. But yeah, I mean, even I kind of restrict myself uh, on kind of doing something. Any kind of a controversial topic is not really posted on LinkedIn. So I've made one thing very clear: I'll not post anything political on LinkedIn, but I'll post everything political on Facebook. So Facebook is my playground for politics. That's what I've been doing. Yeah, so I get some hate comments on Facebook. I get some. I'm not really a right wing aligned person, not a left wing aligned person. So both of them kind of hate me. So, but I try to be sarcastic. I try to be funny. This way I'm able to kind of navigate. That's how I've been doing it.
And Manish has raised a very valid point, that you have to choose the correct platform on what to post and where to post.
That's actually a very good point for the audience also, that where to post, what to post makes a lot of difference, in your image as well. So Twinkle, I've saved the last for you, because in Instagram, as they say, is very volatile in this platform, volatile in the sense of commenting and everything. So what have your experiences been?
So fortunately, I don't receive as much hate because being a CA and because I'm putting out certain kind of content, people are very respectful about what I do. In fact, I get more respect here. I used to get nasty comments and DMs on my private page much more. Like here, people are like, ma'am, 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 and it's really wonderful how you get the recognition because of social media. I mean, there are cons also. Like, of course, men. There are certain kind of men, but then I
That's
think
creepy, no? Creepy comments is what you're getting at. So I guess I think for women as such, we have to be always a little bit wary that creepy comments might come in any time, right?
yes, but otherwise, people are very respectful of what I do. In fact, no one ever called me ma'am except for so that way I'm really grateful about things.
Okay, all right. So now, we were talking about criticism. Arpit, earlier also, we were talking about this. Manish ji, our chairperson, has also spoken about criticism. So, what do you think about when you specifically gave a disclaimer earlier in your earlier comment that I don't criticize when I'm tweeting. I usually point out this. So, what did you mean really by that? This has been so rampant that overall in social media, when you talk about political comments, just not political but generally personal views come in, or when there are a lot of difficulties being faced, there's a criticism, which is a word which is popping up again and again. So what are your views on that, Arpit?
See, Twitter has been a play field wherein the government has become very active about what professionals are posting. So there is a very thin line wherein you might be crossing the limit, and within the limit you are posting something about the issue being faced in the implementation. And over the period, the people who are posting on Twitter have also become very educative, or you can say, or apprehensive about what they are tweeting. So what I do is, rather than whenever there's an issue about implementation or issue about GST, I prefer not to highlight a specific person, or prefer not to point specifically on the ministry or the GST council. Rather than pointing up to a specific person or using some language. I was talking to Dinesh ji prior to the seminar, and he said that when he read the post on Twitter, people are targeting that this person has done wrong, finance minister is doing this, she is doing this. So I prefer not to be personal. Rather than, it is better to highlight the issue and the sarcastic tweets which are there, rather than pointing out to someone specific. The sarcastic tweets also work, wherein we are trying to highlight the issue, but at the same time we are within our limits. So this is one thing which people should remember, that whenever they are posting on Twitter, it's a platform wherein you would be recognized and your post would be read by people very frequently and very fast. There was one case in about a CA student who was from Jodhpur, and she posted on Twitter about the examinations in last November, and her results were withheld by the institute, and she had to reach to the Honorable High Court of Jodhpur bench, and after that her result was declared after the order of the Honorable Rajasthan High Court Jodhpur bench. So one thing, while we are posting about something, the basic thing which we need to say is, we don't have to become personal. The language has to be proper. It should not cross the lines, and once it is within the limits, it is our right as being a citizen of India, as being to share our own thoughts, to put whatever we think on the social media platform.
So basically balancing criticism, while still being able to say what you have to say, and staying within the guidelines of the
And
profession. Basic etiquettes is what
one thing I would like to add is that government is also reaching out to the issues which are being raised on Twitter. Many of my issues, when I used to tag the finance ministry, specific issues like returns not being submitted or refund not being credited, I used to get a reply from the ministry as well on my Twitter handle, and the problem used to get resolved. So it's a very good social media platform, provided it is used in the right manner.
have to be using it responsibility with basic etiquettes and also staying within the guidelines of the profession. Yes, very well said. So now, let me just ask Manish, you're into, sales and strategy background. Um, so just is a very specific question for the audience. How does one differentiate between marketing and networking? Especially when it comes to social media, because I think there's a lot of confusion which happens. So how do you address that?
So I think people need to understand that there's obviously a very thin line of demarcation between kind of networking and then doing your own marketing, right? So what I have been doing is kind of personal branding, right? I have been writing on a particular issue. So if somebody knows Manish, he knows that he will be talking about sales, he'll be talking about GST, he'll be talking about e-invoicing, he'll be talking about technology, he'll be talking about product, right? So you have to personally brand yourself that everybody who knows you, they know that he'll be talking about this. If somebody's following me on Facebook, that they would know that I'll be very sarcastic on my political posts. So you have to personally brand yourself, right? So this kind of personal branding comes in after I would say, so I've spent much of time on this. So everybody, if I say that tomorrow, if somebody wants to know me and they will start knowing me from tomorrow onwards, that would not happen. So slowly and steadily, you'll have to brand yourself. You have to write in that particular manner. Only then people will able to relate to you on that particular thing. And obviously, as I said, there's a thin line of demarcation between marketing and networking, right? So networking is fine, but then if you start marketing if you are practicing CA, obviously I'm not a practicing CA, so these things don't apply to me, but then if you are practicing CA, you have to kind of be very cautious. And one thing that I always tell anybody who asks me this kind of a question, so I always tell them that you need to understand that everything if is coming inbound, that is fine, right? If you reach out to somebody with a business proposal, whether you are a CA or not, he'll not buy from you, right? So I'll give you an example. Let's take an example. Tomorrow I go outside my home and I find you, and I'm probably selling a used iPhone, right? You'll not buy a used iPhone from anybody else, but since you know me, you probably might buy from me, right? So that's why you have to brand yourself. You have to make people know about you, and only then people buy from you, or probably avail your services if you are a practicing CA.
Understood. So what I understand how you're saying is that if I were to on my profile constantly abuse government or maybe use very bad language to talk about issues, then my personal brand has diminished so much that if I want to network with somebody else in future, they're going to be very wary of how to connect with me, right? That's what you're saying. No? So you have to be very conscious of what you're saying on the social media because it's being recorded.
Yes.
Right?
And it impacts your brand. It impacts your personal brand.
So now just adding on to this, I was actually going to come back to this later, but since we've already brought this topic in continuation, would you give us some tips, of how to connect with people on LinkedIn professionally? If, because see, LinkedIn is a networking platform. So, you would want to connect with people. How do you approach? Do you simply send a connection? Can you just, help our audience with that?
Okay, so let's again take an example. If you get a connection request from, or probably I get a connection request from any of the viewers today, right? I might not accept it, but if it is also added with, hey sir, I saw your video and I was able to connect with your ideas, etc. I probably might accept that LinkedIn request. So that's how you have to approach as well. You have to kind of find some common playing ground wherein you are able to connect with that person, and then talk about that, and then you are able to connect with them. So that's how networking happens. So it's a kind of a give as well as receive kind of a thing.
Okay, so again it comes back to personal branding. You have to create a brand overall. So any tips for creating a personal brand? Do you have courses on LinkedIn for that? LinkedIn learning?
Not really. You have to just write. If you're good at writing, if you're good at articulating your thoughts, you'll definitely create a personal brand for yourself.
Okay, noted. So now a question for Shaifaly. Shaifaly, you create videos of length, anywhere between 10 minutes to 20-25 minutes videos. And you get so many views, within the moments of posting. Overall, your videos have gathered 1.9 crore views. So any tips or tricks? Do you have anything in mind? Because I'll tell you, even WRC for that matter, if any professional also, when they're putting up videos on YouTube, we don't get those many views. Views are very less. So what's your this trick?
Okay. I will say there are 3, 4 important things. The first thing is SEO is very important. So the title on the thumbnail, then the thumbnail itself is very important because when you are searching something, you can see there is a line of various video suggestions, and on those suggestions, I think the size of that is very small. So if your thumbnail is written in very small font, the user will not be able to read it, so they won't click on it. Right? So it should be like into large fonts, and very few words should be on the thumbnail. That is first thing. Second thing is that the video length should be good, and if there is something unnecessary or like if it is not required, so like very long introduction or like a very long portion in the beginning, so it may disconnect the people because see nowadays people they have very few times. I mean, our level of distraction is very high. So when I'm watching a video on the YouTube, maybe I have 10 other tabs open. So like 2, 3 seconds of boredom may switch them to something else. The same thing happens on the website contents also. So if your content is like too lengthy, too difficult, and not connecting and very long sentences, so definitely it will disconnect the audience and they will try to search something else because our point of distraction is very high while we are on the internet, right? So that is important. Then the description plus your title and the tags. Those three things should match with each other, right? So whatever you have written in your title should also replicate in description, and it again should also replicate in your tags. Uh, then your video should be about it, right? Then there are some other small tips, like people say that, I mean, these are the small tips, like the videos of guideline, how to, or with numbers like 7 tips, 7 tricks. I mean, those kind of video and content, same thing for the both of the things. They work well with the public because generally people search with those kind of number, like how to file a return, how to do a GST registration, how to reply a notice. So generally, how to videos they work better. But these are theoretical things. Google, because YouTube is also owned by the Google. So Google's first and foremost thing is when somebody is searching, they should go to the relevant page and the user experience on that page or video. That is the most important thing. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines, if they're continuing at that place, Google will start showing it in the search results. And the maximum audience you can get only and only through the search results. If you will notice, I never ever post my video to any WhatsApp group, or I have never sent my video personally to anyone because I know if I'm sending it to like 100,000 or even say 10,000 or 1 lakh people, it's not going to gather any views. Views will only come through the YouTube search if it will start reflecting in the search results. That is the only way out to gather views. That's the most important thing. Work on your SEO, your thumbnail quality. So you may use Photoshop or some other good software for a proper thumbnail, and you can use some good images. You can click your own good images, or you can use some paid images from a stock photo website. So they will work. They will help.
Okay, and in the end, as you said, that content also has to be interesting so that
Content is
it
the most
holds the
important.
yes.
And Mathuji, one thing I would like to add is all the panelists here, the consistency has to be there. There are thousands of
Of
videos
course.
posted by Shaifaly. There are thousands of videos posted by many writers posted by Manish and Twinkle. The initial posts are there which are not being accepted by the audience. They are very less views. But as is consistency, the people will come by themselves. So content is there, but the consistency has to be there.
Wonderful, wonderful. Very good point, Arpitji, that constantly you have to keep on adding. Consistency has to be there. Yes, so that is the also, a point to be noted, that all four of our influencers have been consistently doing what they are doing. It's not that, they've just done 2 or 3 posts and they've been very famous. That's not the case. Now this one question for Twinkle, that you also make videos, but your videos are just 30 seconds or less. So and you put in one topic in that much of time, and again you have you also put in trends which are current trends which are trending, all the music and everything. So how do you do that? What kind of efforts which go into creating a 30-second video?
Right. So to be honest, with time, I think people ka consumption power has reduced. if I'm putting up a video which is like 2-minute video, they would watch it way lesser. On Instagram, of course, YouTube works differently because wahan pe people want the data and want the information. But on Instagram, I think people, in fact, YouTube and Snapchat has also moved to shorts. They're experimenting with shorts. So I think that is what people want, the shorter videos. But to inculcate the data in 30 seconds is a big task. I don't even have the 60-second feature yet that other people or other accounts do. So it is a task, because of which I can't like explain various things. Uski वजह से I just have to put them down in the caption. So I ऊपर से ही I can explain the topics or talk about some topics. So I think it's very superficial, the things, the videos, matlab it does not give you a deep dive explanation of the topic because of that. But that is what it is and how. But I think if I'm talking about some topic on my 30-second reel, though I'm not able to give the full information, but I think it generates the curiosity amongst people, and they go and Google things or go and check my caption out. So I think if a person is curious enough, they learn out of it. I think
So yes, putting it there, the effort goes into it. 30-second ka video, it won't be 30-second video, right? So your 30-second video, when you're making it, I'm sure it must be going through a lot of iterations before editing or anything before it comes to 30 seconds, right? So that's the effort which goes behind this. Okay, so now let's see whether audience has any questions for us. Yes, Twinkle, what are you saying?
I was saying, in fact, I have to reshoot many a times to fit my video in 30 seconds, because if I shoot something and if it's not fitting into the 30-second per view, so I have to again reshoot those and increase the speed of what I say.
And yes, so you're creative. You do use a lot of creativity to get to where you do, no, in 30 seconds.
Yes, I get a lot of criticism about me speaking very fast in my videos, but people are like, Eminem wants to know your location. I got this comment. I think you need to speak a little slowly. Train nahi chhoot rahe. But if I don't speak fast enough, how am I going to cover it in 30 seconds?
It's a professional hazard, no, for you. Okay. All right. So Mishra ji, are there any questions from audience which we can take up right now? Now would be the good time before I conclude and ask final remarks from our participants.
मैं आपको चैट में दे दूं क्वेश्चन में आपको.
Okay, चलेगा. Okay, so questions are coming up. Meanwhile, if you can just take a few minutes and final after the questions, I would just like you that since how has this journey in social media helped you, personally and professionally, vis-a-vis personal branding, professional opportunities, personal growth. Like Twinkle said that earlier my what I used to be earlier and what I'm now, it's different. So skill development. So these 4 points: personal branding, professional opportunity, professional growth, and personal growth, and skill development. So meanwhile, I'll just start, asking question. So there's somebody who asked, what are some apps? Twinkle, this is for Twinkle. What are some apps and tools that you use to create your videos, edit content, manage your Insta account, schedule posts, graphic design, etc.? So do you use specific apps? What do you use?
So I shoot on my phone itself. I don't use a fancy camera or something. I have a tripod, but I don't use it much. But the apps that I use for editing purposes, now I have an editor, but earlier when I used to do it, in fact, most of the editings, even after having the editor, I do it myself, because I think what the kind of video that I want, wo editor nahi kar pata hai. So most of it, the brain and efforts are my own. So the app that I use is Canva, Blue, VLLO, and InShot, and Premiere Pro. These are the 4 apps that I use.
So I'll repeat: Canva, Vloo, 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 InShots, and
VLLO.
VLLO,
Okay.
VLLO, InShots,
InShot.
and InShot,
InShot and
Premiere Pro.
Premiere Pro. Yes.
Premiere Pro. Okay. All right. So that's the question. Now this another question is, I think, for Shaifaly. One of my video posted on YouTube has advertisement hosted before it. Where to check whether I'm entitled for any advertisement fees?
I think you will go to your profile in YouTube and you will be able to see everything in the settings, and I think everything is there for monetization also. You will be able to find out everything there.
But I
Just go to
believe
your
that
My
there are
account.
certain, yes, but I believe there are certain conditions to be met before you're entitled for advertisement fees, right?
Yes, yes. Actually, that is the criteria which is very frequently changed by the YouTube, and just like Google, YouTube is also changing everything very frequently.
You'll have to go to the site and see.
So even to claim your YouTube channel's name in your URL, you have to have, I think, I don't know, it's 100 or 1,000 or maybe 1,000 subscribers. Only after that you can claim your own name in the URL, right? So YouTube slash and then your channel name. It will be the link of your channel, right? And then I think for monetization, I don't remember at this point of time. Maybe it's changed by the YouTube. And for short videos, for the YouTube short videos, there is no such thing. Like they are not paying on the advertisement basis. But if your content is viral, they pay you something, even if there is no advertisement, because YouTube want to, promote this short things because they just want to compete with the TikTok internationally and Instagram specifically for the India, right? So they have some say incentivize. They just incentivize the channels who are using shorts, but there is no, direct or proportionate payment on the advertisement basis for the shorts.
Okay, got it. So basically, is there any specific, place where people can go and search for what all is there, on YouTube, how to look up or how to read up more on YouTube?
I think once you're on YouTube, they generally send you the link of videos. They just, they share the knowledge themselves. So they'll be sending you the videos, they'll be sending you, and you will just go to your YouTube profile, and you will be able to find out everything there.
On the
But yes,
profile,
that
you'll be able to find out.
yes, yes, go to my channel, and when you will go to my channel, you will be able to see all of the states and their term and condition and everything. So you can directly communicate with them. YouTube is very good
So
at
that you
that.
think is a better material, right? Instead of going to any other website and asking for information on YouTube.
Yes, yes. How far the ad revenue is connected, that is more dependent on the views. So on the basis of subscriber, you don't get any revenue. So it has no connection with the subscribers at all, the revenue thing, right? First thing is the views, number of views, and the second most important thing is the length, that is the watch time. So if your video is says of 10 minutes, if people are watching it for 6, 7, or 8 minutes, you will get double kind of benefit. First thing, your revenue will be increased. Second thing is uh, you will be shown in the search results, because YouTube has its algorithm that if your watch time is short in percentage per video, they will not show it in any search result. They
Okay,
will
all
just
right.
start removing it from the search results, right? So it should have a more percent. That's why we must have seen that people have shorter length of videos, maybe 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and they just try to be fast, or they just want to keep something for the end so that the person is watching it till the end. They will say, okay, I will tell this thing in the end. I mean, these are the kinds of things.
Okay,
That is very
all right.
important. Yeah.
That's why they do it. It's quite tricky, the how monetization or the ad revenue works. Okay, so I think that answers the question. Now, there's one comment that we heard that all get affected by numbers of likes, or how much this. So, how much of it affects your stress levels? Being a professional. So, Twinkle, we were talking about it earlier, right? How does it affect this? I'm specifically asking you because this is the game of likes and this, no? Instagram specifically.
Right. So it does affect, as in I may say that it does not, but it does affect, because I think when you have a stagnant growth, sorry, if you have a growth but then it becomes stagnant for some reason, it affects you that what am I doing wrong? Why are people not liking my videos anymore? Should I switch to something else? Should I it actually, the instant gratification the person was getting earlier does not exist anymore, so that affects you also. But I think creating content is a long term thing. You should not watch it as a short term thing, because algorithm will change and things will change, and there will be people entering more. There's no barrier to their entry, so I think things will change, and therefore you should just look at it as a long term game and not get affected by likes and comments as much.
Okay, so there is one more question about setup and hardware, phone, camera, lighting, and applications you use. So applications, this is for Twinkle. So applications used, Twinkle has already mentioned. Phone and camera lighting, or you, if you can, throw a little bit of light of what kind of hardware you use. Both Shaifaly and Twinkle, if you can say, because this has been a question.
I just use my phone. I don't use any professional camera for now. And about the lighting part, I'm not comfortable with the ring light thing. So I try to shoot it during the sunlight, because I think using a ring light gives me a headache. It might be my condition, but that gives me a headache. So I shoot between 12 to 3. So that is the time when the sunlight is perfect, and I have a particular spot in my room where I shoot it, where the voice is perfect and everything is perfect. People have asked me that now that you've grown, at least now you should buy a mic, now you should use this and that professional camera. But I think because I've been shooting that and it has become a habit and I'm more used to these things, I don't switch to those professional hardware.
It's working for you. Whatever you're doing is working for you. So you, what about you, Shaifaly? What kind of hardware setup do you use?
We use Nikon D85 camera for shooting. Earlier we were using 650. And for editing, we use Final Cut Pro, and that is for Mac. And for sound, because when you're shooting with camera, generally camera is not too much good in capturing the sound. So with the
Right.
phone, it's easy to capture the sound. So I use the Boya's mic, Boya's lavalier mic. That
Boya.
is very convenient. Yes, it's very. I think it should be J in Boya. I don't remember that. Right, it's a brand
Okay.
Boya. And I also
Boya.
tried some mic from the Rode and some other brands, but they were not working very well. And this is the only lavalier mic, one lavalier mic we
Okay.
use. And for editing, yes, the Final Cut Pro and Photoshop for making the thumbnails, etc. And yes, for the lighting, I use a lighting. There's a lamp, and there is an umbrella kind of light. I
Umbrella,
mean, a
the kind
light
of thing people
with a
used to
front
use in
umbrella.
shoes.
Yes, that kind of light. Yes, because
Okay, that kind.
uh, yes.
So you were saying something, because
Because generally, if you will put a direct light on the face, it will create a shadow. Right.
right.
So umbrella light is it just merge into the environment, and that light is not directly coming onto your face, because now that there's a direct light, you can see shadow of my eyelids, or you will see dark black
Okay.
side here and here. They create shadow. But the umbrella
Okay.
light, it's very smooth in your face. Yes.
So for people like me, I will not even notice, that this is what is happening. Wonderful, wonderful. That's the mark of a professional, no? Great. There's one more question for you, Shaifaly. Are there any training
Yes.
institutions for developing videos for social media? That could also, extend to Twinkle, but first, specifically for Shaifaly right now.
Training institutes.
Means basically, whether if somebody is a lay person and they want hand-holding. So personally, I know that there are some services, if you could search online, or maybe just this, there are
Yes.
services which help you in overall training, how to post, what are the metrics for posting and everything. So there are
Right.
services. But do you know of anything as a influencer?
I think best thing is search on YouTube. YouTube is the best source of education at this point of time. If you want to have a detailed knowledge about something, and if you're not satisfied with the YouTube and you think that there's a scattered piece of knowledge, you can go to Udemy and buy some course. Udemy is a very good source for courses.
Udemy
And
would
I
be
have
a good
done
source.
so many courses from Udemy. Yes,
Okay.
Coursera or Udemy. Anyone.
Coursera, Udemy. So the online academies would be the good places.
Yes, they're
Anybody
very
else who
good
can
source.
add? If they know of any training institute where developing videos for social media and all, they'll help with that.
Personally, I don't know any institution or something like that.
So I guess for the audience, I guess, what has happened is that everybody has, grown on their own. They were not really targeting to become social media stars, and they've grown on their own. So they have their own organic methods, on the organic or inorganic methods, of how to, and they've arrived at a perfect solution. So they have shared their solution with you. But maybe if you do a little bit of searching, you might get online, you get everything, right? So now, whether there's one question, whether this session will be made available for later use. I think for that you will have to ask WIRC. So I guess, Mishra ji, और questions है क्या?
मैडम
I did not hear you.
नहीं मैडम, एक भी क्वेश्चन नहीं हो.
नहीं है. Okay, so I think these are the end of the questions. So now I will ask you, what I was asking you earlier, that please take a few minutes and let us know how this journey in social media has helped you personally and professionally, vis-a-vis personal branding, professional opportunities, personal growth, and skill development. So, just the parting comments. Let us start with Manish.
I think, sorry, I'm audible, right? Yeah.
Yes,
So I think LinkedIn has really helped me. I mean, if you talk about, I've spoken at multiple places because of LinkedIn, because people reach out to me that you've seen you on LinkedIn, and I think we believe that you'll be able to give some knowledge on that, right? So I've been part of a startup incubator because of in Rajasthan because of that. Obviously, I got featured by LinkedIn. It was my dream to kind of see my advertisement in IPL, and I was able to see that. So that's how. And probably yeah, so LinkedIn is actually a source of kind of a lead generation machine for me, right? So whenever I get a lead from my marketing team, I tend to go to LinkedIn and see who is that guy, right? And obviously seeing my profile, obviously people would tend to talk to me, and there are very better chances that I'll be able to convert them. So yeah, so LinkedIn has been very, very helpful to me, and probably yeah, I remember that I started using some kind of automated tool in LinkedIn, and my account was suspended for 30 minutes, and those 30 minutes were very, I mean, I was not able to breathe for those particular 30 minutes. So yeah, so LinkedIn obviously has helped me very, very much in my overall professional growth.
Wonderful. We'll come to you, Arpit. What has your growth journey like? Any reflections?
The starting point will be that Dinesh contacted me on LinkedIn to be a panelist on this webinar. So
we searched you also from LinkedIn only. So yes, that has been.
Yes, but professionally, the social media platforms, be it a LinkedIn or a Twitter, has helped me immense. As I said initially, the taxman identified me through my LinkedIn post, wherein I consistently used to post for about 1.5 years about GST since 2015. And 2015 GST was something, an idea which would be implemented from some future date. So that's why I highlighted the consistency part. Because when I started to write about GST from August 2015, people used to say that when GST would be implemented, it is not yet known, and you are writing about GST in 2015. What is the point, and who are reading these posts? But this is the impact of consistency, that people start to follow and they start to identify you. And regarding the Twitter platform, as the thoughts have been shared on Twitter, people have contacted me for appearing in the webinars and the seminars, and post COVID, these social media platforms and the webinars have been a huge help in spreading the wings across the entire country. Previously, what used to happen when there were physical seminars, so sitting in a tier 3 city like in Jodhpur, we used to only visit a Jodhpur or a Jaipur for a webinar, for a seminar. But post COVID, these platforms have enabled us to make us reach out to the entire country and be a part of any webinar, be it a Kerala or a Karnataka or a WISC seminar. So these social media platforms, if used properly and consistently with the right content and with the right intent, would be a huge benefit for the professional in identifying and projecting himself that yes, this is the quality which I possess. And there is a good, I would like to end my deliberation. There's a good proverb in Hindi, Jangal mein mor nacha to kisne dekha. So this is the platform, social media platform, which enables you to dance in front of people and let the people recognize your qualities.
Wonderful, wonderful, and very, very relevant. Yes. So, Twinkle, what has your growth journey like?
So I think, so I started my page 7 months back. So I think the Twinkle that was 7 months back is totally different from what she is now. And of course, it's because of social media that I am one of the panelists here, and which is a very big deal for me, which otherwise I would not have gotten opportunity for this if I would not have been making content. And people, when people recognize me outside social media, as in I meet people and they're like, oh, I know you from somewhere, you make videos, right? And then my friends are like, people send me your videos without knowing that we are your friends. So people are actually sharing my videos, which is like very I'm really grateful for these things. And I think not just uh, it's not just being in the eye of public, but also the personal growth that I've had being because earlier I used to think कि, social media influencers का क्या है, they have such a fancy life and everything, they must but when I myself live that sort of life, things have my mindset have changed. So I think, yeah, that's what have changed for me.
Wonderful. Yes, Shaifaly, how has your journey been like?
I will say, when you see the numbers like likes or comments, that's just a number, and sometimes it's hard to, realize those people, just feel that they are people. Because I have taken so many physical seminars also across the India, and sometimes they are like in a very small town, village, or very small city, right? So in many cities that has happened is some people will come to me and they will say that, ma'am, आपसे सीख के GST की practice कर रहा हूँ, thank you so much. And I was like, sometimes it was very emotional for me that like when I'm recording a video, I don't understand what I'm doing. But when I was just meeting those people, and when he was saying that, okay, I had this problem, I watched your video, and हमारे शहर में किसी को नहीं पता था, कोई नहीं बता रहा था ठीक से. It was like very touching moment for me because educating someone, making someone enable of doing something, that's the most beautiful thing we can do in our life,
Rewarding,
like
very
whatever it
rewarding.
is, even if it is taxes or whatever it is, whatever, even if you teach whatever you're teaching in life. I think that's the most beautiful feeling that you're making someone stronger or better or enabling them to do something. That's the most beautiful feeling. And then the branding is, of course, it's very good for branding. So many people invited me for a seminar just because of the videos, right? And for the professional opportunities, I will say that if you're posting the professional content, you will definitely get so many professional opportunities. That's a different thing to convert them, but definitely because see, people want to find out these kind of people, the people who are professionally good at something. But the thing is, sometimes there is not a proper channel to trace out those people, just like reality shows. Like you will see many, sometimes I wonder, like those kind of dancers and singers were existing in our society, but they were not getting any platform. So it's very wonderful. So you will definitely be going to get so many professional opportunities because of that. And but you should be just honest and consistent in your content. That's it.
Wonderful, wonderful. So now I just like to take this opportunity to thank all of you. I've spoken to you guys personally also, and believe me, for the audience, they are very down to earth, and it has just been like talking to a friend. So thank you for this opportunity, and I'll hand it over to Aditya now.
Yeah, actually to me.
Yes, to you. Sorry, Dinesh ji.
Okay. All right. So what an interesting panel discussion it has been. And Shefali, you mentioned that when you go to a physical webinar and you are put off by, looking at a person sleeping during the,
Sometimes that
conference.
happens.
Yeah. So although you're not able to see the viewers here, but I can guarantee that everybody has been glued to the screen as I have been. I have not moved away from the screen even for 1 minute, So that was the power of, the very interesting panel discussion that we had. And this was one topic where we needed to learn from millennials and Gen Z, and it has been amazing experience. So let me start thanking each one of you. So Arpit, yeah, from being a naive social media user to a celebrity Twitterati. It has taken you a few years, but you showed us the power of consistency, that how you need to be consistent to become a thought leader in your area. And your revelation that, you were spotted by Taxman, because of your social media presence has helped me, has helped you, professionally. And of course, for today's webinar also, I reached out to Manish via LinkedIn. He's already my existing connect. And I reached out to you via Twitter and then via LinkedIn. And similarly, I think Maitri also reached out to Twinkle and Shaifaly. So yes, you showed us the power of social media. And Arpit, I think very important what you mentioned is that in Twitter, it is not only the limit of 280 characters. I think not 280, right? Rather not
No,
140.
140.
Now also 140. Okay, sir. So not only we have to keep the limit of 140 characters, but also we have to follow the boundary of decency and responsibility and code of ethics. So that was amazing. So thank you so much, Arpit.
Thank you.
Manish, you took your creative skills and then you ruled out YouTube and Instagram and Twitter, and you chose, LinkedIn as your choice of social media. And what a journey it has been for you. I really liked, you wanted to see your ad being played on IPL and you saw that. So yes, this is where, LinkedIn has taken you. We also came to know about the LinkedIn Creative Accelerator program that you are part of. And you very well explained the thin line between networking and marketing, which we really have to follow. And this is something, the LinkedIn learning program is something which not many professionals are using. But this is something, a good input for everyone. You should start trying that. So thank you, Manish. Shaifaly, I mean, as I mentioned, you saw the problem area, in a physical setup, and then you saw people are disinterested or not really able to concentrate, and you took that opportunity to create content and then consistently create good content, which has given you viewership and recognition. And GST provided you the opportunity to you as well as to Arpit. So the opportunity came your way and you took advantage of that, And I think very important takeaway from you has been that how to take criticism positively. Being out in the open, you see, any kind of comments or feedback coming. So yeah, you told us that how to take that, criticism positively. So thank you, Shaifaly. Last but not the least, Twinkle ma'am. So I think the typical Gen Z, you're born when the internet was there, and then you took your video skills and CA knowledge to become a full-time influencer. And what I really find very amazing is that I do watch, your Instagram. I'm regular on Instagram, and I really admire the way you compress a very technical subject in 30 seconds. You may call it superficial, but I really don't know. I mean, to a great extent, it is able to show you the path, where you can go where you want to learn more about it. So, and you also, explained a lot about monetization, which I think the audience would have, loved it, because it's something which you really don't get to know otherwise. So this is it. Coming to Maitri. So when I thought of this program, I reached out to Maitri first, and she just jumped to the idea. And actually, she has taken the responsibility of organizing this event. She reached out to you all, and I also chipped in wherever possible. She has put together this panel, and initially she was thinking that reaching out to celebrities and stars like you and getting you to agree would be a difficult task. But I said, no, we are all chartered accountant brothers and sisters, and definitely, so you are here. So Maitri has been, amazing in conducting this panel discussion, which we all have, loved. So thank you, Maitri. So on behalf of WARC and every participant here, I want to thank each one of you for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. And hopefully, we'll meet again in some other event in future. Thank you so much. With this,
Thank
we
you.
conclude.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for having us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for
Thank you,
inviting us
sir.
and having us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It has been a
Thank you for the invitation. Thank you.
All right, I think we can conclude the webinar today.
I just wanted to ask, can I like take a picture? Because is it okay if I like post it on my social media as a story?
You must.
Yes.
Definitely, yeah.
After all, let me start my video 1 second.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Everyone, please smile. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right.
So,
Bye-bye.
Twinkle,
Thanks.
Hello. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.